We live in a world ravaged by human-made ecological and environmental disasters. Deforestation, land, water, and air pollution are all contributing factors to the extinction of species, loss of wild lands, and to the ever-growing problem of global climate change. As these problems escalate, their presence in the global ethos also grows. People are becoming increasingly aware of the threats these problems pose to humankind and to the natural world. Threats like increasingly vicious weather systems, ferocious wildfires, and rising sea levels. As awareness grows, generation after generation, people are becoming increasingly active in the fight against the problems that cause these threats. Members of the environmental and climate movements are among those leading the fight, although anyone who actively opposes these issues is also part of the fight. In my research, I sought out a small subset of this larger population known as the zero waste population, with the intent of identifying the ideals which motivate them to make such drastic change in their lives, and to uncover lessons that everyone can learn from them. Through my interviews, I realized that a relevant exploration is one that will help everyone understand zero waste, and learn ways in which they can participate in reducing their own waste, and so participate in the greater environmental and climate movements. But what is zero waste? From the mouths of many zero wasters, and from a reduction of several blogs and online communities, zero waste can be defined as not generating any waste.
This is all of the trash that I've produced in the past 3 years. To me, living zero waste means that I don't make any trash. So no sending anything to landfill, no sending anything in a garbage can, and no spitting gum on the ground and walking away, right? No trash.
This includes not throwing things out, not buying new things, and in practice, it generally means making your own things. Food, deodorant, detergent, and even toothpaste are all things that people bring up as products that can be made without waste. For most people I interviewed, being zero waste means reducing the waste they generate as much as they can, or as much as it makes sense to. Many people were limited in their pursuit by their career or work. Several of the people I interviewed depended on work environments that are incredibly wasteful, with huge carbon footprints. These individuals focused on doing what they can do, and deal with the work environments they inhabit. Everyone interviewed agreed that one of the most proactive things they can do is just educate people about the importance of waste reduction. One of the recurring themes of all my interviews was the desire to reduce waste. There was an agreement that plastic waste is bad and can have very bad consequences on the environment. In discussing this with people, I got a feeling ranging from distaste to hatred of plastic waste. As a result of this, these people influenced their own consumption of plastic in direct and indirect ways. Relating to this, there was a clear acceptance and understanding of one's own consumption, and thoughtfulness about where plastic waste is being generated. These people think about plastic waste in every stage of consumption. For example, buying bulk products isn't perfectly zero waste. Even though a person buying the bulk product is putting it in a jar, the origin of the bulk item was a plastic bag, and it involves many other forms of packaging throughout its life. This attention to consumption is almost philosophical in nature, because it means determining how much ownership one takes over the entire environmental footprint of a jar of beans, for instance. Being able to consider this, regardless of one's ability or desire to change as a result, is important in recognizing the entirety of the problems we as humans are facing. This is one of the most important lessons we can learn from this group of people, because we can think about anything this way, not just plastic. Ask yourself, as the end consumer, am I responsible for the habitats and trees lost from my clothing, the water it took to grow the cotton or energy it took to mine and produce the polyester, the energy it took to spin, weave, and sew, the CO2 emissions resulting from its transportation, etc.? Answering yes shouldn't make you feel guilty. It should empower you. The same way that zero waste people feel empowered when they think about the environment and all of the environmental issues our world is facing. Here are some words from one of my interviews on some of the ways the average person can reduce the amount of waste they generate.
My biggest advice, because I think it's the starting point for most people, is to just stop buying new things, to vote with your dollar, and just realize that you have power and responsibility because you have money and because you make these choices.
Thank you. All of the people I talked to agreed that more people should reduce the amount of waste they generate. So my design is aimed at motivating the average consumer to buy more bulk products, and as a result, reduce the amount of processed and packaged foods they buy. My product is a modular display shelf for mason jars. It will be made from entirely reclaimed materials, and it makes bulk food more decorative and accessible.